You're listening to the TransformationCoach.me podcast, and I'm your host, Adam Shively. Let's get after it. All right, my friends, welcome to another episode of the TransformationCoach.me podcast. It's your buddy, Adam. I'm back. Episode number 32. Today I've got 6 tips to help you get out of your fitness rut. It's a tough place to be. I think we've all been there. Just feel like you're spinning your wheels as you continue to experience those lovely life happens moments when life throws those curveballs at you and you just aren't quite ready for them. Maybe you're new in the transformation game. Maybe you're a veteran. Maybe you've lost a ton of weight. And then you just get sideswiped by something big and you get into a fitness rut. All right. Eventually, this is going to lead to our health and wellness and fitness mindset kind of being on the back burner. And we lose that precious positive momentum that we've worked so hard for. And we are in a fitness rut. So today I'm going to give you those 6 tips to get you out of that fitness rut and start making progress again, right? That's what we want to do. Making progress, not excuses. That's what I say. All right. Tip number 1. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to revisit what inspired you to start your fitness journey in the first place. So what got you motivated to get going from the jump off? What got you fired up to where you said, I'm going to start eating healthier. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to get a little game plan. I might hire some help. I might read a book or whatever. So what was that initial fitness fire? Take some time and think about that because you just have to have that underlying why that is the foundation of your transformation. And one of my new favorite sayings that I've been using is that you have to find your why before your why finds you. And what I mean by that is that you need to invest some time in figuring out why you want to be healthy before something bad happens. I'm talking, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, before life throws that major curveball at you and you are forced to take action. I hate seeing that. Sometimes that's what it takes for people and you are just playing roulette. Are you going to survive that? Okay, so ideally we figure out the why before that why finds us. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, you've got to think about any health or fitness or wellness programs that you've used in the past and choose the one that will be the easiest for you to comply with for the next 4 weeks. We're just going to kind of map out a little 4-week Kickstarter plan to get you out of this rut. So we're just thinking 4 weeks here. What program will be the easiest for you to follow? And this is an area where people make a major transformation mistake. We try to rationalize that since we've been bad and we've lost momentum, well, obviously I need to do the hardest possible program. So an example is a lot of my programs come in different phases. So I've got a boot camp program that has 4 different nutritional phases, and they get more strict and more difficult, so to speak, as you go from level 1 to level 4. Level 4 is the toughest. Level 1 is the easiest with the most variety and options. So a lot of people will regain some weight and then they rationalize, I need to start back on level 4. But really, you need to start back on level 1 because you're just getting your training wheels back on and getting some momentum going. So in this next 4 weeks, let's focus on that. Let's stop the negative momentum, stop the bleeding, and reverse course and start building momentum with the easiest possible program that you can get results with. Then, once we have a little wind behind our sails, then we want to ramp things up. That's when you start hitting the accelerator and move up to a more intense nutritional game plan or fitness game plan or whatever. So that is a huge mistake. That's tip number 2. Go to the program that you will be most easily able to comply with. All right, the easiest program that you can follow and still get results. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, I want you to find at least one person that you can tag in that's going to hold you accountable and provide some support. And this is another area where a common mistake is going to pop up. You think that you have to do this by yourself. for some strange reason, it's just human nature, whatever. People are thinking, I've got myself into this mess, and it's up to me to fix it. I've got to do this by myself. And this is not the best mindset for you right now. It's not a good mindset at all. You should always be looking for help. That's how you get more efficient. Teamwork, delegation, asking for help, learning new things. All right, so don't have that mindset of being a one-person wolf pack, all right? To quote a famous movie line. So you want to find a family member, a friend, a fitness coach, tag them in and ask them for some help. I want you to discuss your goals and your game plan with them, and then ask them, we want them to both hold you accountable and provide support. Now, a quick little side note. Well, not really. It's a direct involvement here. If you want to ramp up the support, if you are lacking in that area, if you're thinking, I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of supportive friends, I am kind of a one-person wolf pack right now, then I want you to check out my free Facebook group that I put together. It's a support group. It's free. It's called the Defeat the Cheat Group. I'll put a link in the blog. I'll put a link in the show notes, or you can just search on Facebook, the Defeat the Cheat Group. It's super supportive. We're in there interacting with each other, locking arms and saying, we've got this. We're doing it together, sharing recipes, sharing inspiration, sharing motivation, and it's a great forum for questions. I go in there live once a week and do a little free coaching session. So I highly, highly recommend that. That's going to add some support and accountability and motivation to this tip number 3. Okay, let's do tip number 4. I want you to write down your number one goal for this next 4 weeks. And as you guys know, I love using 4-week game plans, and I want you to have that number one goal. Now, this isn't like the number one goal for the year. This is for the next 4 weeks. So if you do have bigger goals for your year or quarter or whatever, break that down into just a bite-sized version for the next 4 weeks and give yourself something that's going to help you provide momentum. So if you achieve this goal, you will be going in the right direction towards that overall why that you've come up with and that big maybe quarter or yearly goal. So set that out there. Again, I've got, I think, my number one free tool, my battle plan workbook. I'll put a link to that as well in the show notes with the podcast and on the blog. Download that. It's free. It's going to help you pick your number one goal, and it's going to help you out with tip number 5. Easier for me to say. Tip number 5. Let's go ahead and dive into that. I want you to use the battle plan workbook again to not only set your number one goal, but lay out your specific 4-week plan. All right, that is tip number 5. You must have a specific 4-week plan for your nutrition, fitness, and a cheat bank. All right, if you haven't heard my podcast on the cheat bank, I've done a couple of them. Just go to our site. You can search cheat bank or just scroll through the blogs, and you will see the podcasts in there. I'll link to them also in the blog, so it's easy access. Having this plan, this 4-week plan in place with specific details is going to take so much pressure off of the situation. Right now, you're in a rut. Life stress is getting to you. We don't need to add a bunch of stress by forcing you to make intense fitness and nutrition decisions on the fly. People think, I don't have time to sit down and create a plan. You don't have a time to not do this, all right? You don't have time to not do this. So take 20 to 30 minutes, map this out, and then you can kind of be on autopilot. You've got that quick reference sheet with the battle plan workbook and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Here are the rules I'm playing by. Here's my cheat bank. Here's when I'm taking my cheats. These things are getting scheduled out. My workouts are booked. My meal plan is out there. I'm prepping my meals. So you know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to just do that on the fly. Huge advantage, all right? So, this is really, to truly escape the fitness rut, you've got to have that roadmap, or you're just going to keep spinning your wheels and wasting time, money, and effort. And we don't want that, right? So dive into that workbook. Even if you don't use the workbook, map out that 4-week plan. What is your nutrition plan? What meal plan are you following? When are you prepping your meals? What are the rules of your nutrition plan? Same thing, fitness. When are your workouts? What are your goals with your fitness? How many workouts per week? What type of workouts? What type of intervals? All that stuff. And then, again, the cheat bank, I think, is a game changer for most people that decide to use it. All right, we heard my good friend Chad talking about that last week, how much of a game changer the cheat bank strategy was for him and how he struggled in the past with not really having any set rules. And this whole concept really locked him in tight, and he's getting great results. So let's move to tip number 6. The excitement builds. Tip number 6. I want you to imagine a perfect 4 weeks. So if everything were to go perfectly for the next 4 weeks, what would that look like for you? And this is just some extra motivation. I'm big into visualization. I'm big into affirmations. But this is more just getting you excited, because you need some of that when you're in a rut. If things aren't going your way, it just is going to give you a little bit of fuel if you can just sit down, do this whole process, go through the first 5 tips first, and then tip number 6, you sit down and say, okay, what would this look like if I just nail it? And that's going to motivate you, all right? Everything goes as planned. You nail the nutrition. You're killing the workouts. You nail the cheat bank, and you get out of this rut, and you're building momentum. What does that look like? You've got to give yourself that vision so you know why you're putting in the hard work, why you're making some sacrifice, and why you're working hard to shift that momentum, all right? So obviously, this last tip, perfection, the chances of actually being perfect are slim, but what if you even hit 80%? What if you hit 50%? What does that look like? Just go through those different mindset shifts there. Even another way you could phrase this is, what would this all look like if it were easy? That is a Tim Ferriss question, by the way. If you haven't ever checked out the Tim Ferriss podcast, you're missing out. He's got a new book out called The Tools of Titans. I have no affiliation at all. I just enjoy his stuff. So check that out. But that's one of his questions that he asks himself when he hits a roadblock or some frustration. He says, what would this all look like if it were easy? All right, so that's maybe another version of that question you could ask yourself in tip number 6. All right, cool. Shorter podcast today, quick hitter, about half of what we normally do, but it's just quick action tips. I want to just serve them up, no fluff, get it going, and get into action. So speaking of action, I want you to download your free copy of the Battle Plan Workbook. You can go to my main website, www.transformationcoach.me, and you'll see the link right on the first screen there. There's a Battle Plan Workbook download. You can check that out. Dig into that and apply these 6 tips. I want you to invest 20 to 30 minutes on this process in the next 24 hours. That is your challenge. The next 4 weeks, is it worth 20 minutes in the next 24 hours? Can you square away that 20 to 30 minutes to lay out the plan and get committed? All right, so I think really the only thing that's going to help you escape this fitness rut is action. All right, you got to realize that you can't just sit and listen to the podcast or just sit and read the blog and watch the videos. We've got to get into action. We've got to apply the information. I'm always talking to you guys about that. I'm always coaching you up on that. So we've got to get into action. All right, now before I let you go, I do want to give you a heads up. I've got something new on our Facebook page. I have launched a new Tuesday night live cast. It's called the Transformed Livecast. The Transformed Livecast by TransformationCoach.me. That's me. So the Transform Livecast every Tuesday night. It's going to focus on transformation, education. I just dropped the first one out there last night. I like to record my podcast on a Wednesday, by the way. It's insider info for you, listening to the end here. But it's going to be really good. It's live video. I'm going to get my dry erase board. I'm just going to rock it out. Topic of the week style stuff, action steps, and it's going to be 10, 15 minutes of the good stuff. I'm going to create a transformed livecast library as well and start saving all the episodes for later reference for you guys. So that is coming out. But check me out on Tuesday nights on our transformationcoach.me Facebook page. That's all one line, one word, connected, just like our website, transformationcoach.me. Make sure you follow that and set up your settings so that you can kind of opt in to get a notification when I go live. If you just follow us, it might let you know, but probably not, because Facebook is a sneaky little fellow these days. So you'll have to control your settings and put them so that you will get a notification that says, hey, TransformationCoach.me is going live. You better come check it out. I've got some awesome new Transformed Livecast shirts. I'm going to be giving those away over the next few weeks. So yeah, hop on there. I think you'll like it. If you like the podcast, if you like the blog, if you like the weekly newsletter that I put out, you will enjoy the Transformed live cast every Tuesday night. Now, the time on that is 7:15 p.m. Eastern. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are on Instagram, you can check out the same show. I do it again back to back, so it's not a recording or anything. I haven't figured out how to do that. If you guys know, let me know. But I do 2 shows back to back, same show, 7:15 p.m. on Facebook, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Instagram. Now, the thing about Instagram Live is that once it's gone, it's gone. All right? It goes away, and you never get it back. So I post the replay on our Facebook page, the TransformationCoach.me Facebook page once again. So you can always check it out there if you missed me live. But the live experience is like none other because you get me raw. It's kind of like the podcast because you guys know I don't edit the podcast because you get lots of ums and I say things that don't make sense. I make up words. Same thing, but you get it with video on the live cast. So it is awesome. All right. That's it for today, guys. I want you to get out there and I want you to own it. All right. We're going to get you out of this fitness rut. We're going to get you back into positive momentum, getting the results that you deserve. And it's going to take action. So start taking action. Get out there. Own it. Every meal, every workout, every day. I'll see you on the next episode. This episode of the TransformationCoach.me podcast has been brought to you by our brand new Defeat the Cheat mini course. It's free, and it is awesome, guys. I put a lot of work into this. You're going to get a 28-day Defeat the Cheat challenge where I map out everything you need for a successful 28-day period of regaining control of your nutrition and reclaiming that consistency with our food that we all strive for. You're going to get my Friendly Feasting Index, 50 recipes that are both healthy and delicious. You're going to get a couple of new tools, my Danger Zone Analyzer and my Cheat Bank Developer. You're going to get access to our Defeat the Cheat Facebook group for support and accountability. And the cool thing is I've filmed little videos for each section of the mini course to guide you through it, to make sure that you max out each component and get the most out of your time. It's going to take you about 20 to 30 minutes to navigate through this course, and the time will be well spent because the whole goal is to give you control over that food instead of food controlling you. It's not about never cheating again. It's about reclaiming that control so that you're making great decisions and you are in charge of your nutrition. To access this new free Defeat the Cheat mini course, just go to our homepage, www.transformationcoach.me. Scroll to the bottom of that homepage and give us your email. We need a valid email that we can send the information to, and we will get you the course. Get fired up and get ready to defeat the cheat. I will see you inside that course.